Hello everyone, I welcome you all in today's session about Power BI interview questions. In today's session, let's look out at the top 25 Power BI interview questions that can help you crack your interview. But before we go ahead, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Edureka's YouTube channel to never miss out on any updates from us. Also, if you're looking for the Power BI certification training course, do check out the link given in the description below. So guys, let's look at our agenda for today. So, firstly, we'll take a look at some generic Power BI interview questions, which are the essentials of the Power BI. Next, we'll look at the DAX interview questions from Power BI. Moving ahead, we'll talk about the Power Pivot interview questions, and at last, we'll cover the Power Query interview questions. So, guys, without any ado, let's move ahead to the generic Power BI interview questions. So, the first question is, what is Power BI? So, guys, Power BI is nothing but a cloud based data sharing environment. Once you have developed reports using Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power Views, you can share your insights with your colleagues. This is where the Power BI enters the equation. Power BI is technically an aspect of SharePoint Online that lets you load Excel workbooks into the cloud and share them with a chosen group of coworkers. The next question is, how would you define Power BI as an effective solution? So, guys, Power BI is a business intelligence tool, as mentioned, which is used to analyze and visualize raw data that can be fetched from a wide range of data sources. It is used to consolidate business analytics with data visualization and helps any organization to make business decisions based on data. Power BI is easy to work with, and the data is processed in such a manner that it is easy to understand and also reliable. Power BI can be accessed from different platforms and can also be shared across on cloud participants. This makes it an effective solution for Power BI. Moving on to the next question, we talk about what is a slicer in Power BI. So, guys, a slicer is a visual element in Power BI that allows you to filter data within your reports and dashboards. It provides an interactive way to select specific values from a field or column and apply filtering to all visuals in real time. Slices enhance data exploration and analysis by allowing users to focus on specific subsets of data. So that's what a slicer means. So, guys, the next question is list out differences between the Power BI desktop and Tableau. So, guys, here we talk about all the aspects between Power BI versus Tableau. So, firstly, in terms of the company and licensing, Power BI has been developed by Microsoft, as known, whereas Tableau is developed by the Tableau software, which is now a part of Salesforce. Next, in terms of ease of use, where Power BI is user friendly with a drag and drop interface, Tableau provides a steeper learning curve and requires more technical skills. In terms of data connectivity, it provides native connectors to Microsoft products and also various data sources. Whereas in Tableau, it provides broader compatibility with databases in terms of web servers and file formats. Next, let's see visualization. So, guys, in terms of Power BI, interactive visualizations and dashboards with modern design can be made possible. Whereas in Tableau, advanced visualization capabilities, nothing but complex charts and maps, and so many other features are provided. Lastly, in terms of the collaboration, easy sharing within Power BI service has been given with the integration with SharePoint and Teams. Next, in Tableau, sharing options are possible within Tableau Server and Tableau Online. Moving on to the next question, we have what is a dashboard? A dashboard is nothing but a visual depiction of data intended to make tracking and comprehending key performance indicator quick and simple. Although dashboards can be used in many various fields and contexts, they are most frequently employed in the business world to monitor key indicators like sales, marketing, and customer satisfaction. Let's look it out with the key points. So, in terms of enhanced visibility, dashboard make it simple to monitor how various parts of your organizations are operating by giving you a single view of all your crucial metrics. Next, faster insights. You may not have seen certain trends and patterns in your data without the help of dashboards. So, guys, faster decision making and better outcomes are arising from dashboards. Lastly, in terms of better communication, team members and stakeholders can receive clear, succinct communication of crucial metrics by using dashboards. This could promote better coordination and collaboration. Moving on to the next question, what are the different connectivity modes in Power BI? So guys, in Power BI, we have three types of connectivity. So first we have here is the import. So guys, import is the default mode and the most popular method of connecting to data in Power BI. So how it works is a copy of the data is loaded into the Power BI model whenever you import data. This indicates that even if the underlying data sources is unavailable, the data is stored in Power BI and is readily accessible. However, importing data can make the Power BI model larger and take longer to load. Second we have is direct query. So guys, direct query in Power BI is a feature that allows you to connect to a data source and query it directly without having to import the data into Power BI. So guys, Power BI does not load a copy of the data into Power BI model when using direct query. Instead, anytime a user interacts with a report or a dashboard, Power BI immediately accesses the underlying data sources. The last connectivity we have is the live connection. So live connections are used to connect to analysis service model, whereas direct query is used to connect to databases. Without needing to import the data into Power BI, live connection enable you to build reports and dashboards based on analysis service model. This can be a wide choice for intricate and huge models. The next question we have is, where is the data stored in Power BI? So guys, the two main places where it is stored are the Azure SQL database and Azure Blob Storage. So guys, your real-time data that you import into Power BI is stored in the Azure Blob Storage, which is a cloud storage service. Then the metadata for your Power BI database, including your data types, column names, and relationship between tables, is stored under the Azure SQL database. The next question we have here is, what are the building blocks in Power BI? So guys, let's talk about the building blocks starting with datasets. So Power BI employs datasets, which are collections of data to produce visualizations and reports. So you should know from multiple data sources, including Excel spreadsheet, your SQL databases, and cloud storage services can all be used to import datasets. The next building block we talk about is the reports. So guys, you have heard about reports, right? It's a group of visualizations that are all displayed on the same page or pages. Data analysis like storytelling are all parts of the reports and are made possible with a clear insight. Next is the dashboard. So guys, dashboard are a one-page presentation that combines several graphics. By that I mean dashboards are a useful tool for quickly scanning your data and seeing the trends and patterns of your data. Lastly, we have the tiles. So guys, using tiles, you can visualize the data independently. Any Power BI visualization can be converted into tiles. Moving on to the next question we have, is it possible to include a table in the model that has no relation to any other table? So guys, yes, it is possible to include a table model that has no relation with any other table. Why? As disconnected tables can be useful for storing your data that is not directly related to other data in the model, such as reference data or lookup tables. The next we have here is, what is the comprehensive working system in Power BI? So guys, the comprehensive working system follow these essential steps. First comes the data preparation and modeling. So guys, here you need to know that the data preparation and modeling process involves data import from multiple data sources, cleansing them, transforming them, and using the data modeling. These can all be logical in terms of representing your data. The next is the data analysis and visualization. So guys, after gathering your data, you can start building visuals to examine it and spotting patterns and trends. There are several different visualizations available in Power BI, including pie charts, bar graphs, line charts, scatter plots, and so on. Heat maps and tree maps are also other examples of advanced visualization that you can make using your Power BI. Next, in collaboration and sharing, you can use Power BI Surveys to share your visualizations and reports with others when you have finished creating them. You may share your content with anyone, anywhere, using your Power BI tool. This service allows you to share reports, dashboards with others. Then the next question is, what are content packs? So guys, when you're using Power BI to examine data, you can use content packs, which are pre-assembled collections of your reports, dashboards, and data sets. So guys, under content packs, which are produced by the Microsoft and other partners, Some of the applications can be seen under sales, marketing, customer support, and so many others. Moreover, guys, to check out content packs, it allows you to discover more about new methods to view and analyze your data. Also, to get started with Power BI, you can check out the good approach to gain knowledge about particular facets of your company. The next question we have here is list out different types of filters used in Power BI. So guys, in Power BI, we have three basic kinds of filters. First is the visual level filters. So guys, visual level filters are the filters at visual level that are applied to particular visual like chart, table or map. These may be applied to filter the information shown in your visual. The next is the page level filter. So guys, these filters are applied to each and every visual on a page. They can be used to filter the information that is shown on all of the page graphics. Last is the report level filters. So guys, our report pages are all subject to filters at report level. They can be used to filter the information that is shown on all of the reports pages. The next question is, what are the major differences between visual level, page level, and report level filters in Power BI? So let's look at the table where we have the visual level filter that affects only the data in the visual to which it is applied. Then in page level filters, where you have all visuals on a page, this affects all of the data on the page to which it is applied regardless of the visual type. Then in report level filter, here we have all visuals in the report, which affects all of the data in the report regardless of the page or visual type. Moving on to the next question, what are available views in Power BI? So guys, there are three accessible views in Power BI. So first is the report view. Here you generate visualization. You may add fields from your data model to the canvas. You can format and arrange your visualizations to produce a report that is easy to understand and full of information. So the next is the data view. This view provides a grid-based representation of your data model. You can use data view to examine your data for any mistakes or discrepancies and also modify your data if necessary. The last is the model view. So here the relationship between the tables in your data are all displayed on the model view. So guys, this view allows you to build and change relationship as well as check the integrity of your data model. Next, let's talk about defining bidirectional cross-filtering. So guys, Power BI's bidirectional cross-filtering is a feature that allows all users to apply filters on the either sides of the table relationship. So you have tables and along with that report creators and data modelers, which can give you more control over applying any sort of filters over your data. Moving on, next is list out the various refresh options available in Power BI. So first in the list, we have the scheduled refresh that automatically updates your data on a set schedule. Next, we have on-demand refresh, which is used to manually trigger a data update anytime, followed by direct query that connects directly to the data source for real-time updates, followed by gateway connection that handles data refresh option for on-premises sources. Next, we have the live connections, which are nothing but direct links to analysis services for your live data. Moving on to the next question, what are some of the familiar sources for data in the Get Data menu in Power BI? So first we have the file that allows you to import data from files that are stored on your local machine or over the network. Next we have the databases, which provides you with the options to connect to various databases such as Microsoft SQL Server, Azure SQL Database Server, and many more. Next we have Azure, that allows you to connect to the data sources in Microsoft Azure. Lastly, we have the online services that includes connectors for popular online services like SharePoint Online, Dynamics 365, Web APIs, etc. The next question is, what do you mean by grouping? So guys, grouping refers to the process of combining your data into logical categories based on specific criteria. By grouping your data, you can organize and summarize large data sets, making it easier to understand and analyze the information. Next, let's talk about the responsive slicers in Power BI. So guys, responsive slicers in Power BI refer to the feature that allows slicers to automatically adjust their layout and appearance based on the available space in the report or dashboard. Slicers are nothing but visual controls that provide an interactive way for users to filter data in a report. They allow users to choose specific values from a field and filter the data displayed in other visuals accordingly. Moving ahead, we have what is M language. So guys, M language is a scripting language which is used in Power Query, also a data transformation and data preparation tool that is a part of Microsoft Power BI, Excel, and other Microsoft products. The M language is specifically designed for data connectivity, data transformation, and data mashup. The next question we have list out the most common technique for data shaping. So in this, the first we have is the filtering, which is used to remove the unwanted rows or columns from the dataset based on a specific criteria. Secondly, we have sorting, which is nothing but arranging your data in a specified order based on one or more columns. Third on the list, we have grouping and aggregation. So guys, the whole point of grouping and aggregation is to group your data based on one or more attributes and then calculating the summary statistic for each group as a part of aggregation. Then we have the joining and merging that combines data from multiple tables or data sources based on common columns to create a unified dataset. Moving on to the next question, we have how is the schedule refresh feature designed to work? So the schedule refresh feature in Power BI is designed to automatically update data in a published report or dataset on a regular basis. When you create a report or dataset in Power BI and publish it to the Power BI service, you may want the data to stay up to date without having it to manually refresh it each time. So last on this list, we have what is self-service business intelligence. So guys, self-service business intelligence, also known as SSBI, is an approach to data analysis that enables business users to filter, segment, and analyze their data without their in-depth technical knowledge in statistical analysis or business intelligence. So SSBI has made it easier for end users to access their data and create various visuals to get better business insights. Moreover, anybody who has a basic understanding of the data can create these reports to build an intuitive or shareable dashboards. So guys, next in the list we have the DAX, which is nothing but data analysis expression in Power BI interview questions. So let's move on to the first question of DAX. So guys, to do any basic calculation and data analysis on data in Power Pivot, we use data analytics expression, which is DAX. It is the formula language that is used to compute calculated column and calculated field. Here you need to know that DAX works on column values. Also, DAX cannot modify or insert the data. We can create calculated columns and measures with DAX, but we cannot calculate the rows using DAX. So the next question is, what is the difference between a calculated column and a measure? So guys, here we differentiate based on the feature between the calculate column versus measure. So guys, the next question is, what is the difference between a calculated column and a measure? So guys, here you can see in the table, a calculated column and a measure in Power BI differ primarily on how they are assessed and applied to visualization. So guys, for the features like context visualizations and calculations, here calculated columns are applicable to any visualization and are accessed row by row. However, they can only be used for basic operations like adding, taking away, multiplying, and dividing of numbers. Here, only visualizations that support aggregation may employ measures which are assessed in the filter context. Measures can be used to carry out different computations such as computing sums, average, medians, and percentiles. The next question we have is, how does a concatenate X function works in DAX? So guys, when a table's column values are separated in a specific delimiter, the concatenate X function in DAX is used to concatenate the data. The function requires these three arguments. So the first is the table, which is the column that you wish to concatenate from the tabular table. Then the column itself, which contains the values that you want to combine, and the delimiter now, which is the character to be used as a separator between the values that have been concatenated. Now the next question is, how would you create a moving average in Power BI using DAX? So you can use the following formula to generate a moving average in Power BI using DAX. A new measure column containing the 7-day moving average of sales for each data value in the sales table would be produced using this formula. Here, the moving average measure may be then used in your visualizations to show how the measure has been evolved over time. The next question is, how would you calculate the rank of a customer based on their sales in Power BI using tags? You can use this formula in Power BI to determine the customer rank based on their sales, where we have the customer, which is the column that lists client names. This is the column that lists out client's name. Then we have the sales column that lists the customer sales. And then is the desk, which is an abbreviation for descending order, to determine the rank. So based on their sales, this algorithm will determine the ranking of each client in the table. The customer with the highest sales will be ranked as the top customer, followed by the client with the second highest sales, and so forth. The next question is, what are the most common DX functions used? So here are some of the most commonly used DX functions. The first on this segment, we have the basic function formulas, which are sum, min, max, average, and count rows. Next, we have the conditional functions, which are if, and, or, and switch. Then we have the values, all, filter, and calculate, followed by summarize columns and is empty column, followed by the inbuilt methods, which are summarize columns and is empty. Lastly, we have the measures of central tendencies that are geomean, median, and date diff, which is the date difference. You can use the date diff function to determine how many specified time interval exists between two dates. So guys, let's move on to the next question we have. What are the fundamental concepts of DX? So firstly, we have syntax, which are formulas which includes the functions. Also, if it's incorrect, it will return an error. Second, we have the functions, which are arguments with specific orders to perform. It helps in calculating any particular order which is required in the arguments. Third, we have the context. So contexts are of two types, row context and filter context. Row context is used when a formula has a function that applies a filter to identify a row in a table. Also, we have the filter context, which are used when one or more filters are used to get a value. The next question is, how is the filter function used? So guys, the filter function returns a table with a filter condition applied for each of its source table rows. This function is rarely used in isolation. It's generally used as a parameter to other functions such as calculate. Filter is an iterator and thus can negatively impact performance over large source tables. Next, what is the calculate function in DX? As we have seen this function in the earlier, the calculate function measures the sum of a column from any table and can be modified with filters. You can also take a look at the syntax body, which is calculate followed by the expression under the argument and filter. So here, the expression which has the significance to be evaluated, and the filter is nothing but true or false expression or a table expression that defines a filter. After this, let's move on to the Power Pivot interview questions. So starting with the basic, what is Power Pivot data model? So guys, Power Pivot is a model that is made up of data types, tables, columns, and table relation. These data tables are typically constructed for holding data for a business entity. So next question is, list out differences in data modeling between the Power BI desktop and the Power Pivot for Excel. So let's take a look at the aspects from which we can take out the comparison. So first, in terms of integration with tools, where Power BI is integrated with Power BI ecosystem, Power Pivot for Excel is integrated with the Excel environment. Next, based on the data source connectivity, Power BI Desktop offers a broad range of connections for various data sources, whereas Power Pivot connects to various data sources within Excel. Next, in terms of modeling interface, Power BI Desktop uses Power Query for data transformation, whereas the Power Pivot for Excel uses Power Query, pivot tables, and pivot charts. Then in terms of the data relationships, Power BI Desktop defines relationship visually in the data view, whereas Power Pivot creates relationship in the diagram view. Lastly, in terms of the DX language, Power BI Desktop utilizes DX for creating measures and calculated columns, whereas Power Pivot for Excel uses DX language for calculation. So here's the comparison between the Power Pivot and the Power BI. So the next question we have is, can we have more than one active relationship between the two tables in data model of Power Pivot? So the answer is, We can have more than one relationship between the two tables, but there will be only one active relationship and many inactive relationships. Lastly, let's get some insights about Power Query interview questions. So firstly, what is Power Query? So Power Query is an ETL tool, which means extract, transform, and load. That is the data integration process. This tool is used to shape, clean, and transform the data using intuitive interfaces without having to use coding. It helps the user to import data from a wide range of sources from files, databases, big data, social media data, etc. So some examples listed are join and append, which are used from multiple data sources. Also, we have the shape data as per requirement for removing and adding the data. Next, let's talk about what is query folding in Power Query. So query folding is when steps defined in Power Query or editor are translated into SQL and executed by the source databases rather than the client machine. It's important for the processing performance and scalability given limited resources on the client machine. Then the next question, can SQL and Power Query or editor can be used together? So the answer is yes, an SQL statement can be defined as the source of Power Query and M functions for additional processing or logic. This would indeed be a good practice to ensure that an efficient database query is passed to the source and also it avoids unnecessary processing and complexity by the client machine and M function. Moving on, we have why do we need the Power Query when Power Pivot can import data from mostly used sources? So for this question, guys, you should know that the Power Query is a self-service ETL, which is extract, transform, and load tool that runs as an Excel add-in. It allows the user to pull data from various sources, also manipulate data into a form that suits their needs, and loads it into Excel. This service is the most optimum to use Power Query over Power Pivot as it lets you not only load the data but also manipulate it as per the user's need while loading. Moving on to the last segment of the list, we have name some of the commonly used tasks in Query Editor. So guys, the first task would be to get the data from various sources and then transform the data. The next task is shape data. You should transform your data according to requirement to clean and shaping it. Third, we have grouping rows. You can group the values of many rows into one single value by summarizing it. Then we have the pivot columns. So guys, your next task is to pivot columns and create a table with aggregated values. The last task would be to create custom tables. So for this, you can use the custom formulas to create new columns in your table. So guys, that's pretty much about the Power BI interview questions. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, press the like button and stay subscribed for our further upcoming videos. Thank you, and like always, wish you happy learning.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to EduReka channel to learn more. Happy learning!